what it meant to you to be here today.
It's beautiful. It's inspiring. You have to. We always say there's aloha spirit. There's Mauna that we have here in the islands, and that's something that I always carry with me around the world. And I always tell people that around the world that until you come here to the islands, you have to come here to experience it. But coming specifically here to Mauna Kea, what I've realized today, and obviously I've been following this for years now, more so as everything has been amping up more recently, but when you come here to Mauna Kea, you realize that it's bigger than a telescope. It's humanity. It's a culture. It is our Polynesian people, who are willing to die here to protect this land and to protect this very sacred land that they believe in so powerfully. So I was really so moved, and obviously the ceremonies are so beautiful and always move me. They always make me emotional, but again, you realize as I'm leaving, it is much more than a telescope. It is people who have so much pride and are willing to sacrifice everything they have to protect something that's so incredibly sacred to them. And this is, Mauna Kea represents all of Hawaii, all the islands, and how sacred our islands are. And I've buried my grandfather on the other islands, and I personally buried my grandmother's ashes with my own two hands, and I know what it's like to feel something that's so meaningful and deeply personal to you and so sacred. So it was a beautiful, moving, very, very inspiring day.
What do you think needs to happen here in order to make this Kona?
Well, I think a few things. I think that, number one, I think that a greater leadership has to step in. And I feel like there needs to be leadership with empathy. There needs to be progress through humanity. Because the whole idea about this, it's not about stopping progress. It's not about stopping science. It's about respecting a culture and respecting people and doing things the right way. So I do believe that a greater leadership has to come and have a greater dialogue, a lateral dialogue, bringing all people to the table. And I know it's much easier said than done. But I'm here to help in any way that I possibly can. And that is with all the sides of our community, all the sides of our elected officials. Again, however I can help, because again, it's much more than just a telescope. It's humanity, and when you have people who are willing to sacrifice their lives, when things escalate to that emotional apex, that is a sign that something has to be done. And to full charge ahead isn't the way to do it. And as I shared with the crowd today, the world is watching, and the world is saying we should take a pause. And this is where care and decency and love and respect for not only culture but for humanity really comes into play.
People like yourself have such a large... Was it the arrest of the kupuna that got you out here despite your busy schedule?
It was the arrest of the kupuna. It was the fact that it continues to grow and the support continues to grow. And it was also my hope that a greater dialogue was being had with our leaders. And so I was hoping for that. And again, not that I was intended to come in and help change anything. I wanted to come in here and see our people and stand with them and support them. But yes, I mean, the rest of the kupuna was a sign, but also a sign. So after that happened, I mean, it just strengthened and it became even stronger.
All right, thank you very much. We need to
last
go.
one.
This is worldwide. You have such a large platform. What message do you have for those people like yourself who can bring this to a wider audience, who can help bring change? What message do you have for them?
Well, I think that I had the opportunity to come here today and experience this firsthand. And again, I'm proud of my cultures, and I'm well aware of how much this has permeated the world. And again, I think when the world is watching, it's important that we recognize that the world is watching, but it's also important, again, to lead with a compassion and lead with a great leadership. And that's always my message is, because at the end of the day, as polarized as this is seemingly to be, and it is in many ways, there's still solutions. There's solutions in everything. You just have to have the right people coming to the table, having the right conversations. So I'm optimistic. I've spoken to a lot of people here today who are leaders and who are optimistic as well that we're going to be able to see some sort of change. And the beauty of it is this is a very steadfast culture. Our culture is very steadfast. That's the beauty of it too. I mean, the protests are so peaceful, but they are so powerful, and no one's going anywhere. So I'm optimistic that something positive is going to come out of this. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Okay, just one photo with you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Please, can you back up? Thank you.
All right, guys, back it up, please.